Welcome to Kansas City, vibrant metro known for its barbecue, jazz, and Midwestern charm. Have you ever wondered what it actually costs to live here? Whether you're relocating for a job, looking for that new adventure, or you're just curious about the heartland, today we're breaking down the cost of living in Kansas City. Stick around for insights into housing, utilities, transportation, groceries, taxes, and even some hidden costs. Plus, I'll share tips on how you can stretch your budget here in Kansas City, but most importantly, where you can find the best barbecue in the world. Before we get started, if you are unfamiliar with Kansas City, the metro area straddles the Missouri-Kansas state line, so in effect, half of it lies on the Missouri side, mostly in Jackson County, and the other half on the Kansas side, with most of those Kansas suburbs residing in Johnson County, Kansas. Let's begin with housing, since housing is one of the biggest factors when it comes to the cost of living. The good news, while homes in major cities on the east and west coast, as well as major cities like Chicago and Denver, are real expensive, Kansas City offers a wide range of options. For example, the median home price in Kansas City is approximately $275,000, which is much lower than the national average. Suburbs like Lee Summit on the Missouri side and Overland Park on the Kansas side in Johnson County might push that figure to $400,000 to $450,000. That said, you can find a lot of homes in the $300,000 range in Johnson County, Kansas. Now for renters can expect to pay $1,200 to $1,500 for a one-bedroom apartment in areas like downtown or the Crossroads. Prices are going to drop to about $800 to $1,000 in the more suburban neighborhoods, whether you're on the Kansas side or the Missouri side. Now here's a tip. If you're looking to buy a home and you want a more urban lifestyle, look into the areas like Waldo and Brookside. They're full of historic charm. FYI though, Brookside, that's my favorite Kansas City neighborhood, bar none. And if you want though a more suburban lifestyle, then consider Gardner or Shawnee. All of the areas mentioned offer lots of options without breaking the bank. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything about living in Kansas City, then subscribe below. Simply tap the bell for notifications so you'll be the first to know about the current market conditions in Kansas City, Missouri. Hi, my name is Chris Pucci with the Living in Kansas City real estate team, and we get calls every day from people just like you. So if you're contemplating making a move in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 months, feel free to reach out. Give us a call, send us an email, shoot us a text, or better yet, schedule a Zoom call. All of our contact information is below, and there is nothing that would make us more happy than to help you make a nice, smooth transition to the Kansas City, Missouri area. And I invite you to leave your questions or your comments in the comments section below. And let me know if you have any questions about the 4 areas that I mentioned just moments ago. That being said, now let's turn our attention to number 2 on our list, and that happens to be utilities and the internet. Next on our list, utilities. Utilities in Kansas City, they're pretty average. You can expect to pay $150 to $250 a month for electricity, water, and gas, depending on the size of your home, how well insulated it is, and the time of the season. For example, winters can push heating bills higher, particularly when we have lots of really cold days or we have temperatures that are sub-zero. Conversely, summers with their summer heat can also raise the bill. Now, having said that, if you live in an established neighborhood that is full of large mature trees that afford a lot of shade, then that's going to help keep your summer utility bills somewhat down. Of course, if you own an electric vehicle, you can expect higher utility bills all year round. And then we also have the internet. What does it cost in Kansas City for the internet? Well, internet plans, they start around $50 to $70 per month. And you have fiber options for faster speeds. So if you do a large amount of streaming, downloading, you work from home, or you're a gamer and you want faster internet service, then you're looking at $100 to $150 per month. So here's a tip. Bundle services whenever possible, and also look into autopay. This might just save you a few bucks. So now that we've talked about housing cost and utilities, including the internet, now let's turn our attention to transportation costs. Kansas City is a car-dependent city. You gotta own a car to get around, but being geographically centrally located in the United States, gas prices fortunately tend to hover slightly below the national average. That said, if you're commuting to work, you should budget about, $150 to $200 per month for gas, depending on how far you have to drive to work. Of course, if you own an EV, then you don't need to budget for gas, but your utility bill is going to be higher. If you have access to the Kansas City streetcar, this is a great option as it's free and it runs from just north of Kansas City downtown, starting in the River Market all the way south to the Country Club Plaza, and there are more routes expected to be added on in the future. Then of course, another alternative is taking the bus. Bus fares here are $1.50 a ride. Also, you have to take into consideration, if you work downtown, then you're going to be faced with the cost of parking, unless your employer pays for it. But if they don't, then you're on the hook and you're looking at another $100 to $150 monthly. Hey, if you know of anyone who might be thinking of transitioning to the Kansas City area, please feel free to share this video with them. I'd be greatly appreciative. Now that we've covered transportation, let's move on to groceries and dining out. Next on the list to talk about is groceries and one of my favorite activities, dining out. Groceries in Kansas City, they're about 5% lower than the national average. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, they estimate a typical grocery bill for a family of 4 in this area runs about $800 to $1,000 per month. If you have teenage boys, I can guarantee you your grocery bill will most likely exceed that upper limit. When I was a teenager, I personally destroyed the family grocery budget. And I'm pretty sure that when I finally moved out of the house, my parents were ecstatic just for that reason alone. Dining out, that's where Kansas City really shines. Kansas City really has great food, so whether you are into Mexican, Italian, Mediterranean, or Casey's world famous barbecue, which by the way, you can grab a sandwich for $15 to $20 a person. And if you're looking though to enjoy fine dining in an upscale restaurant, you're only looking at about $50 to $70 per person there. So you can really eat on the cheap in Kansas City. Budget-friendly options, check out the local farmer markets like the City Market down in the River Market for fresh produce and unique finds. If you want inexpensive outing, take the streetcar to the River Market, stopping along the way at a coffee shop for some coffee and chatting, then hop back on the streetcar going to the River Market to check out the farmers market. Maybe you'll do a little shopping, grab a bite to eat, then hop back on the streetcar and head home. Trust me, it's a great way to spend a leisurely Saturday weekend morning. It's one of my favorite activities. So we've talked about groceries. Now it's time to check out the next item on our list. Now let's talk briefly about healthcare and some miscellaneous costs. Healthcare costs in Kansas City are slightly below the national average. So here you can expect to pay $400 to $600 monthly for health insurance if you're not covered by an employer. PayScale reports that healthcare expenses in Kansas City are approximately just 1% below the national average. You can expect the average doctor visit to be about $140 and a dentist visit at $115. If you're into fitness and you like going to a gym, gyms and fitness centers range from $15 a month at Planet Fitness for a basic membership to $189 a month for a signature membership at Lifetime Fitness. Shopping and entertainment can be affordable if you know what's available. Local movie theaters charge $10 to $15 per ticket, and there are plenty of free and low-cost events like First Fridays and the Crossroads, which by the way, it's a blast. And during the summer months, there are lots of free outdoor concerts and plays. For us baby boomers or those who just love rock and roll, I saw for free Peter Noon and the Herman's Hermits, who by the way, they put on a great concert. If you are into plays, then you check out the theater in the park at Shawnee Mission Park. It's free. You just bring some lawn chairs, a blanket, and a picnic basket, and you get to enjoy a really nice play. And when it's too cold out, or it's too hot outside, you can always take in the Atkins Nelson Museum. It's a nationally and internationally recognized museum, and it's free. And there's this really cool little restaurant inside the museum. There are lots of ways to have fun without spending a lot of money. By the way, has anyone who's watching this video ever attended a Herman's Hermits concert? Let me know in the comments section below. Finally, let's talk taxes. I know they are a necessary evil, but I still hate them. You know, I don't believe I have met anyone who likes paying taxes. What we're going to do is we're going to break this topic up into three components: state income tax, sales tax, and real estate taxes. State income taxes. Missouri has a state income tax ranging from 0% to 4.95%, while Kansas ranges from 3.1 to 5.7. According to taxfoundation.org, Kansas and Missouri have state income tax rates that are below the national average. A great deal, with Missouri's rates being slightly lower than those in Kansas. Sale tax rates. Missouri's state sales tax rate is 4.225, but Kansas City imposes additional local sales taxes, bringing the total to 9.975. Kansas has a state sales tax rate of 6.5%, but Johnson County, when you combine their local state sales tax, brings it up to 9.325%. And this is going to vary from city to city in Johnson County. Now, here's some good news though. Starting in 2025, the state of Kansas is eliminating sales tax on food sales, which was 2%. And finally, property tax. In Kansas, the median property tax rate is 1.43%, higher than the national average of 0.99. Conversely, Johnson County, Kansas boasts a relatively low average property tax rate of 1.17. However, due to higher median home values, the median real estate tax payment is about $4,000, which is the highest in the state and just a hair over the national average of $3,720. Now, Kansas City, Missouri, which is located in Jackson County, has an average effective property tax rate of 1.19, again, higher than both the state and the national averages per smartasset.com. So that's the good and the bad news about taxes. Now let's talk about something that is a lot more fun. So how about I share with you some tips as how you can stretch your budget here in Kansas City. Well, tip number one, use local apps and sites like KC Deals to find discounts on dining and activities. Hey, a great way to save and have fun when dining out is to go during restaurant week. It's a great way to check out a new restaurant and not have to pay full value for the meal. Item number two, if you love going to the movies and you go often, like multiple times a month, a movie subscription can be the perfect ticket. Sorry, I just couldn't resist. But a subscription can lead to substantial savings compared to purchasing an individual ticket. Plus, if you don't like the movie, you won't feel so bad because it stinks. Third, shop at grocery stores like Aldi or Price Chopper for your affordable groceries. Hit the farmers market for fresh, low-cost produce. I mean, there are multiple farmers markets throughout the Kansas City metro, and they're all great. My two favorites are the Overland Park Farmers Market and the farmers market at the River Market. There you have it, a breakdown of the cost of living in Kansas City. From affordable housing to world-class barbecue, this city truly does have something for everyone. If you're thinking of making the move, reach out. I'd love to help you find that perfect home and make Kansas City your favorite place to live. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave your comments and questions below. And please do share this video with your friends. You know what? I almost forgot. I promised you I would share with you the best barbecue spots in Kansas City. That's really tough because there are over 100 barbecue restaurants in the KC metro area and quite a few of them are great. So with that being said, here are my go-to favorites in no particular order. Joe's Barbecue of Kansas City, Jack Stack Barbecue, Q39, Hayward's Barbecue, and Zarda Barbecue. Some have better ribs than the other, same with the brisket or their burnt ends. And if you haven't had burnt ends, it's a Kansas City thing, you gotta try them. They are probably the most popular item on the menu. If you have been to Kansas City and you've eaten at any of these restaurants, let me know what you thought of them. I'm really curious. So I want to say thank you for watching my video. It does mean a lot to me. And if you want to learn more about Kansas City, check out some of my other videos. Until then, I hope to see you and show you around Kansas City.